Good morning and welcome to the project plan and orientation video for the UPMC fit testing project. For about a half an hour, we'll cover key elements of the project, including logistics and scheduling, reporting, and we'll close with a brief video on the qualitative and quantitative fit testing processes. If at any time you have questions after the video, you may reach out to myself, Art Kaplan, or Barbara Piers at Cacciardi to help answer any questions. Thank you for your assistance in this very important project. The project plan includes working for UPMC, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, to conduct primarily qualitative fit testing of N95 masks for both hospital and physician offices. The project has started at the beginning of August and will commence for about a month, possibly 2 months, depending upon our throughput. Cacciardi is one of 4 suppliers assisting UPMC. We have primarily the central region of Pennsylvania, which includes Harrisburg, Carlisle, and York areas. However, we may extend into other areas of the state to assist. The project is designed to bring UPMC into compliance with OSHA requirements for fit testing as part of their respirator protection program. The reason the numbers are so high that we have to fit test is primarily as a result of increase in the number of people in the program due to aerosol generating procedures amidst the COVID pandemic, as well as a change in the Halyard Health or Kimberly-Clark surgical N95 mask, which previously the employees of UPMC were fit tested on. However, in order to maintain production and increase throughput at their factories, they have removed a safety seal from the inside of the facepiece. This removal has resulted in the need to refit test everybody that had previously been fit tested. So it's very likely you will receive questions from employees wondering why they have to be fit tested again when they've had the same respirator. The key difference is the removal of the previous safety seal that would lie inside of the facepiece. For logistical purposes, the Cacciardi project number 200422 should be identified on all of your Cacciardi paperwork: timesheets, expense reports, overtime requests, etc. The client is UPMC. I will be the project manager. And our primary client representative, however, we will deal with multiple, is Knox Walk, the Director of Emergency Preparedness at UPMC. The locations, at least from a hospital standpoint, include a number of formerly Pinnacle hospitals across central Pennsylvania, as well as a few other locations that were purchased: Hanover, Carlisle, Memorial, and York, and Lidditz. In addition to the hospital locations, which will be the initial wave of testing, there will be physician offices that support these hospitals in subsequent events. In terms of a scope of work, our scope of work is contracted to provide N95 fit testing for the staff of UPMC as directed by UPMC. We will follow the Occupational Safety and Health Administration protocols identified in 29 CFR 1910-134, specifically Appendix A, as it relates to qualitative and quantitative fit tests. We would expect everybody to follow the protocol specifically, and that they understand and are comfortable with the requirements of this. UPMC is providing the N95 masks in 2 different styles and in 2 different sizes. Cacciardi will provide fit testing supplies, including nebulizers and hoods. Solution may be available from UPMC and should be utilized when available. I'll talk more about options for solutions in a subsequent slide. Our responsibilities in terms of requirements to UPMC is that we will drive to the designated locations as coordinated by Mr. Art Kaplan. All of these locations will be relatively centrally located in the Harrisburg, Carlisle, York areas. However, if you are required to go to an off-site location, possibly in Pittsburgh or Erie, there will be separate travel requirements that will be outlined for you. Our responsibility is to fit test those employees and record the results of that. Those results should be supplied to UPMC daily via a form that I will show you in a few minutes. Each location has not only a site contact, but a designated fit test coordinator who should be included in your communications from the onset of arrival through the results. That may or may not be the same individual, the fit test coordinator and the site point of contact. From an organizational standpoint, UPMC corporate, including Knox and the executives at UPMC, have identified fit test coordinators across the system for each designated hospital. They are working with Cacciardi and 3 other companies that we will participate in this program with. Each of the companies is regionally identified, so we should not run across other fit testers other than possibly UPMC employees. I will be the project manager and overall person responsible for client interaction and billing. Art Kaplan is directing all activities and will be the scheduling, logistics, and QA person on the project. You are assisting us in the fit testing of this project across a number of regions. Key contacts for the project, however, it is unlikely you will need to contact anybody other than the site contact and fit test coordinator. But in the event of critical issue, Knox Walk, Donna Novak, who is the UPMC Senior Director for Supply Chain, who has been instrumental in this, Teresa and David are as a part of the employee health program, who is the ultimate recipient of our data. In terms of entry to the hospital, we will enter the hospital through the emergency department. Because of current COVID conditions across the Commonwealth, we will be screened according to the daily screening and wellness checks, including temperature and a series of questions. Obviously, if at any point in time you are uncomfortable or you are feeling ill, you should not report to work. Contact Art or myself. Do not show up to the emergency department if you are not feeling well. We will have our own face coverings, and those are available through Cacciardi if you need them. You will not need an N95 mask to perform this function. We will be in dedicated areas outside of the ED to conduct. All Cacciardi staff will have an appropriate badge that will grant us access to the building. Those are being currently requested as we speak and will be provided to you prior to your first day of fit testing. We will follow the calendar and coordinate schedules through Art Kaplan. Again, remember, we are servicing and assisting UPMC, so whenever possible, we will assist them without incident. try to be accommodating and warm, greet customers and clients, and try to maintain good throughput, despite the fact that scheduling is outside of our control. In terms of the reporting that we will undergo, there is very minimal reporting. Some of you that have conducted fit tests in the past may have completed a fit test form and documented exercise by exercise. That is not the case. We are to record every individual that gets fit tested as a row in an Excel spreadsheet. The Excel spreadsheet is provided by UPMC, and it's critical that we not modify that spreadsheet. They are using that to auto-populate into the employee health record all of this data from literally thousands of employees. So on the employee health record, which I will show you in a few minutes, it's a blank Excel sheet with a handful of columns. It starts with the employee ID, which the employee may or may not know. If the employee does know their ID, it's an 8-digit number that should be preceded with zeros to fill 8 digits. Simple first and last name, a date of birth to help identify, a date of testing, and then a series of drop downs for the make, the model, the type of respirator, including the Halyard Health or Kimberly-Clark duckbill without the safety seal, and a assortment of 3M N95 masks that varies somewhat depending upon the location. For the vast majority of tests, they will be qualitative. However, in the event of a fail, indicating that they failed on respirator 1 in size 1, they failed on respirator 1 in size 2, they failed on respirator 3, or I'm sorry, on 2, and you have run out of N95s, they should simply be identified as a failure and then instructed to return at a later date for quantitative fit testing. Pass, fail, your email, and a simple supplier name, Cacciardi and Associates, one of the 4. In terms of the forms, the entry into the data form, and then a handout or a fact sheet that is provided to each of the employees that they can take with them that constitutes training. Additionally, there are small wallet cards that are provided by UPMC that just have basic information that they can take with them as proof that they have been positively fit tested. At the end of the day, the Excel file should be emailed to the fit test coordinator who has been identified for your specific location. Again, this is a straightforward, everybody who has been identified as conducting a fit test. In the case of somebody who has been fit tested for more than one respirator, they should be multiple lines with all of the data repeated. First name, last name, date of birth, multiple times. Think of each individual line as an independent record. So there is no copying, pasting that will be allowed. This represents the employee fact sheet that is provided to them in terms of training, and a copy of what the Excel spreadsheet looks like. As you can see, it's relatively straightforward. It does need to be done electronically at the time of fit testing. We have attempted to do this via paper and transfer to electronic at the end of the day, but it has not been deemed efficient. So the process simply is to obviously arrive at the designated location at the designated time. We will be conducting tests in blocks of time. So if you commit for a 4, an 8, a 12-hour shift, we are to be at the site the entire time, despite the fact that there will be gaps when there are no employees. We do not have control over the scheduling program. So a block of time has been set aside, and we will fit test those that arrive as they arrive. Greet them and let them know what the process is about, provide them a copy of the fact sheet, enter the data into the form in consultation with the employee, ask them if they have previously been fit tested, if they are aware of the size and style of mask. If they know they are a Kimberly-Clark regular, we would start with that respirator. Once we have a positive fit test, i.e. they have passed on one respirator, they are completed. We would prefer that they all fit into the Halyard Health regular size, since that is currently the most prevalent in terms of quantities. We will conduct the fit test, and we will review a video at the end of this if you are not familiar with the qualitative fit testing process, but essentially starts with a sensitivity check, no mask, simply to know that they have the ability to taste whatever the solution is. We'll have done an N95, ensure visually that it fits. We will conduct the fit test according to the OSHA protocol. Upon completion, in the event of a failure, at any point they can taste the solution. You should stop the test, record that as a failure, and either adjust the mask, provide them another style or size, and continue on until you have no other N95s to try. If in the rare event they do not have sensitivity to the solution, and we'll have two, a Bittrex bitter solution and a saccharin sweet solution, you may try an alternate solution so that they have the ability to ensure that they fit that flavor. If the fit test fails, then they are to be advised that there will be quantitative fit testing provided at a later date and most likely an alternate location. We will coordinate this subsequent testing with the fit test coordinators. In the event that they pass, it should be noted on their wallet card and on the form, and they can return to their work assignment. Some additional information that's going to be important. Depending upon the flow and the process, in order to keep pace, we may need to fit test two people simultaneously. One fit tester, two hoods, two employees. In most cases, this will work fine and smooth, and employees will be allowed to do this. However, in the event that one employee fails and the other continues, the person who fails should be asked to set aside, stand by, complete the solution, complete the fit test, and then return to the other individual. In terms of the nebulizers, if you're not familiar, we have two styles of nebulizers. Both work essentially the same way. A small amount of fluid is put into the base of it. It contains maximum of about 5 milliliters. If you overfill it, you will not be able to get an appropriate atomization of an aerosolization of the solution. Please make sure that your nebulizer is working, especially if you're using Bittrex. The nebulizers have a tendency, because of some salt that's in the saline that's in the solution, to crystallize around the aerosolization tip. These need to be cleaned with warm water regularly. If you are continuously fit testing for up to 4 hours, you may start to see some performance issues on the nebulizer. Squeezing the nebulizer against the dark background will assure you that you're getting an appropriate aerosolization of the agent. And in the event that you are not, the first thing to try is to rinse the unit, warm water, and there is a small pin that can be inserted to ensure that you're getting flow through the tip. In terms of pre-testing, all of the employees have scheduled themselves. To our knowledge, they have not been told the standard protocols, which include no eating, no drinking, no smoking, chewing gum or mints, up to 30 to 60 minutes before the test. Because qualitative fit testing relies on a taste test, essentially the ability to taste bitter or sweet solutions, if somebody indicates that they have just eaten lunch or have spearmint gum, it may impact their ability to taste. You can recommend that they come back in a small amount of time, or that they rinse their mouth with water prior to the test. Additionally, as they've donned their mask, please ensure that you are visually looking to ensure a proper seal. If at any point in time you can see gaps around the nose or the chin, do not fit test. They and certainly will fail. Same will hold true for facial hair. Anybody with facial hair in the sealing surface, a facial hair growth of more than 24 hours, should not be fit tested. They will not pass. A small mustache or goatee is allowable as long as it doesn't interfere with the seal around the face. There is a taste test, if you will, the sensitivity screen, just to ensure that they have that ability. A small percentage of the population will not be able to have that sensitivity, and they should be offered an alternate solution in that case. And you'll provide them a copy of the fact sheet. Again, the video will cover the OSHA protocol for applying the agent, but essentially we are going to provide a hood and fill an atmosphere with the solution, sufficient so that if there are leaks, as they go through a series of exercises, they will identify any leakage. The exercises that we'll move through normally, starting with normal breathing, each for approximately a minute. We've found it, you will know relatively quickly if the respirator is leaking. So certainly upon the initial breathing, you can ask them to move around their mouth a little bit or smile, just to ensure if there's leakage and a breakage, we will know relatively quickly. Again, you can read through the series of exercises, including deep breathing, head side to side, head up and down, talking, which is normally represented via the rainbow passage, a paragraph that is designed to exercise all the muscles of their mouth and move their facial expressions. However, in the event that somebody doesn't have their glasses and can't read, or may be illiterate, what's most important is that they talk. So I sometimes will ask the employee to tell me how they got to work, what roads they took today, how they drive home, simply as a way to get them to talk. Some additional information in terms of qualitative fit testing. Again, there is a hood, a variety of hoods designed to keep a specific concentration of the agent around. The hood is used throughout the process, although during the sensitivity check, the individual does not wear a respirator. So there is no facial covering, simply so that they can taste, or we can determine if they can taste the solution. In between employees, the only thing that needs to be cleaned, and we will provide alcohol wipes, is the hood itself. It should be wiped down with the alcohol wipe in between employees that are being fit tested. Again, each kit contains 2 nebulizers. Each of them are specifically marked so that you can separate your sensitivity solution from your fit test solution. The sensitivity solution is just a weakened version of the fit test solution, either 12% or 100% weaker than the actual fit test solution. So if they express an ability to taste the sensitivity, they certainly will react to the actual fit test solution because it is much stronger. Again, 2 different styles you will see, sometimes represented by the chemical name, either Bitrex, which is a very bitter solution of denonium benzenate and saline. This is a non-toxic and safe product that has been used for years on children's fingernails to avoid them to chew their fingernails or suck their thumb. It is used in veterinary supply to be put on certain items so that the dog or puppies won't chew things, and it leaves a terrible bitter taste in your mouth. Saccharin, the component in Sweet and Low, again, very sweet, easy to identify. Either of these solutions will provide the requisite threshold to determine if the respirator is leaking. For those of you that have not done fit testing, I'm going to show a brief video of about 12 minutes. Please listen to the video in detail. It will describe the process and some of the theory behind that process. I will return at the conclusion of the video. I apologize. You probably didn't hear that video that time. Let's try one more time.
This program will provide instructions on how to perform qualitative fit testing for half-face filtering facepiece respirators, such as 3M healthcare particulate respirators and surgical masks. Please note, the qualitative fit testing instructions for the 3M 1870 respirator and surgical masks are the same for other 3M particulate respirators. There are 2 types of fit test solutions for qualitative fit testing available from 3M. A sweet solution as found in the 3M FT10 fit test kit, and a bitter solution as found in the 3M FT30 fit test kit. Either of these solutions can be used. However, certain employees may be more sensitive to one solution over the other. During this training, we will be using the sweet solution. The procedure is the same for the bitter solution. Both the 3M FT10 Sweet and FT30 Bitter qualitative fit test apparatus meet the performance criteria for fit testing respirators under the current OSHA standard for respiratory protection, 29 CFR 1910.134. If crystals are present within the container of test solution, hold closed bottle under a warm stream of water or shake vigorously to dissolve the material. If there is evidence of solution contamination, immediately discard the bottle. OSHA requires that a medical evaluation be conducted prior to fit testing. A fit test should only be conducted if there is no hair growth, apparel, jewelry, or any other condition or object that may compromise the fit or prevent contact of the respirator with the skin. Subjects should be informed of the ingredients of the fit test solution and that they will be exposed to a fine mist. To prepare the qualitative fit test apparatus, attach the hood to the collar by placing the drawstring between the flanges on the collar. Tighten the drawstrings and tie it with a square knot or bow. Pour approximately 1 teaspoonful or 5 milliliters of the sensitivity solution into the nebulizer labeled Sensitivity Test Solution. Pour the same amount of fit test solution into the second nebulizer labeled Fit Test Solution. Immediately recap the bottles. A sensitivity test is conducted before the fit test to determine if the healthcare worker being tested can detect the test aerosol at very low levels. The sensitivity test solution is a very dilute version of the fit test solution. The subject must avoid eating, smoking, drinking, or chewing gum for at least 15 minutes before the test and during the test at all times. This does not include water. To conduct the sensitivity test, instruct the test subject to place the hood and collar assembly over their head without a respirator. Position the hood assembly forward so there is about 6 inches or 15 centimeters between the subject's face and the hood window. Instruct the test subject to breathe normally through their mouth with their tongue slightly extended. Both plugs on the nebulizer must be removed during use. The nebulizer must be held in an upright position to ensure aerosol generation. Using the first nebulizer with the sensitivity solution, inject the aerosol into the hood through the aperture in the hood window. Squeeze 10 times, always fully collapsing the nebulizer bulb on each squeeze. Allow the bulb to extend fully between squeezes. Ask the test subject if they can taste the sweet taste of the solution. If the test subject can taste the solution during the 10 squeezes, note the number of squeezes as 10 and proceed to the fit test. If the test subject cannot taste the solution during the 10 squeezes, inject an additional 10 squeezes of the aerosol into the hood and see if the test subject can taste the solution at this time. Repeat with 10 additional squeezes up to a total of 30 if necessary. Note whether the test subject can taste the solution after 20 or 30 squeezes. If the test subject is unable to taste the solution after 30 squeezes, end the test. Another fit test method must be used for this test subject, such as use of the FT32 bitter solution or a quantitative fit test method. Remove the test hood from the subject. Give the subject a few minutes to clear the taste from their mouth. The test subject may help clear the taste of the test solution by rinsing their mouth with water. You are now ready to conduct the fit test. According to OSHA, the respirator to be tested shall be worn for at least 5 minutes before the start of the fit test. This allows time for the wearer to ensure they can wear the respirator comfortably. Have the subject don and perform the user seal check as instructed in the fitting procedures for the specific respirator. We are using the 3M 1870 Healthcare Particulate Respirator type N95 for demonstration purposes. Instruct the subject to place and position the test hood as before. Then have them breathe normally through their mouth with their tongue slightly extended. Instruct the subject to raise a hand or otherwise notify the instructor if the sweet taste of the test solution is detected at any time. Using the second nebulizer labeled Fit Test Solution, inject the fit test aerosol using the same number of squeezes used in the sensitivity test, 10, 20, or 30. To maintain an adequate concentration of aerosol during this test, inject 1/2 the number of squeezes used in the previous test every 30 seconds thereafter. For instance, if the subject could taste the sensitivity solution within 10 squeezes, you would then administer 10 squeezes of the fit test solution initially and then follow up with an additional 5 squeezes every 30 seconds for the remainder of the fit test. Conversely, if it took 30 squeezes of the nebulizer for the test subject to taste the sweet solution during the sensitivity test, then you would administer 30 squeezes of the fit test solution to start the fit test and then follow up with an additional 15 squeezes of the nebulizer every 30 seconds for the remainder of the fit test. After the initial aerosol is injected, ask the subject to conduct a series of exercises for 60 seconds each. Remember to inject 1/2 the number of original squeezes every 30 seconds through the fit test exercises. First, in a normal standing position without talking, the subject shall breathe through their mouth normally for 60 seconds. Second, in a normal standing position, the subject shall breathe slowly and deeply through their mouth, taking caution so as not to hyperventilate. Continue this for 60 seconds. Third, standing in place and breathing through their mouth, the subject shall slowly turn their head from side to side between the extreme positions on each side, pausing momentarily to inhale at each side. Repeat for 60 seconds. Fourth, standing in place and breathing through their mouth, the subject shall slowly nod their head up and down with about 1 nod per second for 60 seconds. Instruct the subject to inhale in the up position when they are looking toward the ceiling. Fifth, the subject shall talk out loud slowly and loud enough so as to be heard clearly by the test conductor for 60 seconds. A reading called the Rainbow Passage is included in the print instructions for the 3M qualitative fit test. Sixth, have the subject bend over at the waist as if he or she were to touch their toes for 60 seconds. Jogging in place may be substituted for this exercise. Conclude by asking the subject to breathe through their mouth normally again for 60 seconds. If the fit test is completed without the subject detecting the sweet taste of the test solution, an adequate face seal has been demonstrated with the model of respirator. If the subject detects a sweet taste at any time during the fit test, an inadequate fit is indicated. Terminate the testing when this happens. Wait at least 15 minutes if you plan to retest. Rinsing the mouth with water can help remove any lingering sweet taste. Ask the subject to review the donning instructions. Repeat the fit test after redonning and readjusting the respirator. A second failure may indicate that a different size or model respirator is needed for that employee, such as another model of a 3M healthcare particulate respirator and surgical mask. The fit test must be completed successfully before a healthcare worker can be allowed to wear a specific model respirator. One commonly used strategy is to fit test all employees on a single respirator model. Those who cannot achieve an adequate fit are then provided another model. For example, you may choose to fit test all employees on a 3M 1870 respirator. Those who cannot achieve an adequate fit after several tries are then provided a 3M 1860 respirator or a 3M 1860S respirator for employees with smaller faces. The fit test procedure is then repeated. Although not illustrated during this training, according to the U.S. OSHA Respiratory Protection Standard, fit testing must be performed while the test subject is wearing any applicable safety equipment that may be worn during actual respirator use, which could interfere with respirator fit, such as hair bonnets and eyewear. After completing the qualitative fit test, the unused solutions in the nebulizers should be discarded. Immediately rinse the nebulizers with warm water to prevent clogging. After allowing the nebulizers to dry, store them in a clean and dry place. There are many other types of respirators available on the market, including powered air purifying respirators or PAPRs. PAPRs equipped with a loose-fitting facepiece or hood may be an alternative for a bearded healthcare worker or those who otherwise are unable to pass a fit test on another type of respirator because PAPRs do not need to be fit tested. PAPRs use a motor and a blower to force air through air purifying elements into a loose-fitting facepiece or hood that generally covers the entire face and head. A battery and cartridge are often housed in a separate unit which is mounted at the waist of the user. PAPRs must be used in connection with the same OSHA respiratory protection standard that covers use of all respiratory protection equipment in the workplace, OSHA 29 CFR 1910.134. As required by OSHA, respiratory protection programs must include procedures for cleaning, disinfecting, inspecting, storing, and maintaining equipment. However, as noted previously, PAPRs with loose-fitting face pieces, hoods, or helmets do not need to be fit tested. Refer to the OSHA website at www.osha.gov for the most current information about use of respirators. Contact your 3M sales representative or call the 3M Healthcare Customer Helpline for information on personal protective equipment, including the respirators described in this training, and to learn more about the other elements of a respiratory protection program.
Okay, hopefully you found that enjoyable and a refresher for additional information. Lastly, I will provide for each of you. If you need to reach out to myself or any of the Cacciardi staff, there are 3 individuals who can assist. For those of you that are new to the Cacciardi family, welcome. For employment, in business-related issues, you can contact Barbara Pierce in our Mechanicsburg office at that information. For logistics, scheduling, where am I supposed to be, who do I meet, where do I get extra supplies, Art Kaplan is the program director, and his email and cell phone are provided. And then if you have any issues in terms of the client interface, if there is any anomalies, somebody asks you to do something different than what we've identified in this training video, or for overall project management, you can reach me out of the Scranton office. Again, I thank you very much for participating in the program and helping us to achieve success in this project. Have a great afternoon.